Hello, hello. Somebody will find me eventually. But I'm in here putting away the effort of my work from yesterday. I need a comparison weight, excuse me. In spite of shrinkflation, this is still almost a pound. Close enough. Now the food sealer is noisy, so I pre-made some bags. Hi, Josephine. Excuse me while I play with my meat. Hi, Nosa. Yeah, we were cutting up the last quarter of a deer till late in the afternoon yesterday, and then you have to chill the grinder assembly and the meat so that it runs through without getting sour or anything. So the last thing before bed I was grinding this. And of course it's venison, so copious pork belly was added. And I ran low on pork belly, so the top layer of the meat here is a little bit light on fat. Have my comparison weight. Yeah, close. And I'm knocking my daughter's vanilla down. Should put this where I won't run into other stuff. Now, the fun thing is, I do have about 1.5 pounds of the bratwurst filling. Meaning it's a little spiced and a little salted already. I will do some research and then I will add the correct amount of curing salt for the weight of what remains. And make some German flavored sausage snack sticks. It will need additional salt, which is use of pickling and canning salt if you do not have kosher salt in the house. But keep in mind, curing salt is not the same thing at all. I'm talking about the pink stuff that has nothing to do with the Himalayas or Redmonds. The chemical crap we're supposed to be so afraid of. Because, oh my god, processed meat. Well, I'm processing it and I refuse to be afraid. Yeah, I was admitting a little bit ago that I was running low on the pork belly yesterday. So some of this is noticeably very lean. But it provided the perfect opportunity to get a frozen piece of salt pork out of the freezer and run it through the grinder. So this is very lightly salted. And it's cold. My hands are getting cold. But I said I'd probably do a live today to celebrate finishing up getting 2 deer done. And while I have I will not say I've complained copiously, but it was still a lot less work than having somebody bring home, I think it was 6 hogs. Oh, Gary, that's so sad. If you didn't like it, it's because your coworker probably didn't give you any advice on cooking game meat. Oh dear. I only made half the bags I'm going to need for this. It doesn't help that I used one for the bratwurst filling. I'm not too worried about eating German sausages. The stuff I'm allergic to isn't in them. But with venison, you want to treat it like making chorizo from scratch. You add some acid, you add vinegar or something to it. Now for a roast or something, you do a splash in the Instant Pot or slow cooker of just regular lemon juice. Or you can bone out a leg, stuff it with garlic cloves and some lemon slices, and then roll it back up to like it just came off live venison, and tie it so that all that stuff stays in while you're cooking. The lemon really helps. And if you don't like lemon and you don't want to use the bottled stuff, hi Jerry. But if you don't like lemon and don't want to use the bottled stuff, you can use some vinegar. Improves the flavor like you would be so surprised. And then there's mixing it. My mother would never mix meats at all, ever. But we're talking about somebody who overcooked everything because she was concerned about parasites, right? So why worry about overcooking? Let's see how much I can squeeze into these bags I've already got made, because the sealing process is the noisy bit. But venison or antelope, I will happily mix with beef anytime. Because it brings the beef around to a more natural flavor. Now there's a small excited chihuahua running around. But yeah, the beef we have today are descended from the wild oryx, which is probably also the, I cannot swear to it, but it might be the genesis of the word ox. The oryx is mentioned in the Bible. Let me rinse my hands a bit. It is a wild type of beef from, I think it was known on the plains of Africa, if I'm remembering everything correctly. Now I'm gonna move this a little away so I don't pick up too much of this sound. It is noisy. Now, if I wanted to, I could add the lemon juice or other acidic. I don't know how much you hear that, but I find it annoying, and I'm in the room next to it. But if you really don't like wild taste to your meat, I eat it without doing that sometimes. I throw some in the Instant Pot. And like I said, I use it to tone down the way too tame taste of beef. Because I don't need everything to taste like the feedlot it came from, right? Did y'all hear that much? Was it too loud? Hey, don't pick on Jerry. She's doing better than I do at fasting. Now, granted, recycling by fasting is a great way to take care of your body. Dr. Fung approves. Now, Dr. Jason Fung often does not get included in carnivore conversations because he's not carnivore, or not a carnivore that I'm aware of. But he's the just fast guy. And he still makes videos. He still gets interviews and stuff. Oh, my stack's gonna fall over. It just seems really loud to me. Like I said, I'm standing right here. But Jason Fung wants us to fast at least occasionally. It's good for us. And he can get into all the scientific reasons why. Just like Dr. Berry can say, be kind to your liver, because there's all this going on and you need it. And if you want to know about the NRF2 pathway, you can talk to Richard Smith, the Keto Pro. Yay. I was catching their live a little while ago. But, yeah. I mean, this may not be everybody's ideal dinner, but I'm going to love it. Now, when I'm talking about mixing it with beef, I mean, this stuff, reasonably tasty, lots of people eat it, right? And it's loaded with nightshades, and I buy it by the 12-pack because I have grandchildren. But I can cut down the nonsense that's in it by mixing it with this. Feeds more people. With 5 people in the house, sometimes 6 because her boyfriend comes over and we like him. I like him better than her ex. Just all the time. Anytime. But, yeah, we can throw this into it and it makes more of a meal than that 15-ounce can of retail stuff. Which has fillers and carbs and, like I said, nightshades. Now, if anybody uses Facebook, I do happen to be over there. But my dad and one of my aunties and my Uncle Doug, they're all gone. My dad and his sisters were the only reason I was still getting on Facebook. Yes, Jojo, you do want a sealer. I think Gary has one. Now he's got the low profile one. This one has a place to attach a hose if you're doing a particular kind of job. And use it with a cap. But you can now get the cap with a battery suction and it'll seal onto a jar full of dry stuff that you don't want to water bath process. But sometimes we buy a multi-pack of steaks. Oh God, what happened? I heard it try to start. There we go. Oh my gosh, a half a cow in the freezer shit itself? That is horrible. That's when you want mason jars and get your meat out and start processing it immediately. Or, I was starting to talk about Facebook. There's a charcuterie group over there. Oh, well, more than one actually. But I found one that I really like because they didn't look down on me for having less experience or anything, and they're great for tips. And if you've never made your own bacon or corned beef, I would start with asking Lou and some of the other guys over there what their advice is. That's the easiest. I mean, corned beef sounds like a huge project until you do it. And bacon, you use the same package of pork belly that I would add to the venison. That's back. And this is just to close the bag because this is one will be added to dinner. I love how it just shrinks it down. And that, compared to the 1 pound tubes from the store, that's probably 1.5 pounds. But this one has got a little cubby hole to hide the roll of bag material in. It's got a little built-in cutter that I cut across it with. And then you seal one end. And when you're sealing one end to make a bag, if you don't seal one end, you just have a tube. But you stick one end in and it tries to start sucking air. You hit the stop, whack, seal button over there on the side. And that turns it into a bag instead of a tube. Then you have a bag you start putting stuff into. A cylindrical drum. Everything has its own shtick, right? Get this unplugged. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to do something. Ooh. Yeah, it still works even with the flap open. This is the creation of a bag. And I will then put the opened roll down in the bag. And I think there's some more in a box here. I just opened the box to get this roll out. But I live in a place where creepy crawly crap is a common problem. And grab this other box here. Yeah, occasionally I refer to some carb eaters in my life. And that usually means my daughter, her boyfriend, and her teenagers. I'm getting prompted to add a Q&A sticker. I don't think I need to. These rolls come... Make a lot of bags out of one of these rolls. And you can buy pre-cut. That's okay. No laws against it. The convenience is amazing. In fact, this box of rolls came with some pre-cuts. That's what I just stuffed down the side there. Ah, do I need to make another bag? Well, that would make the same size bag. So I'll seal the end. I think I'll trim this end too. They've got a little ragged spot at the end of the roll. Another bag made for another job. Now I tend to find this hits the sensor better if you turn it so that the curled side goes down. Hi, Amy. Good to see you. And I'm backpacking the end of meat. The marinade tumbler sounds interesting, Gary. I will have to look for it on Amazon, I'm sure. Or you can post a link to it on your channel, maybe. Now, whether somebody has a insect season, springtime in most places, or they've got a year-round biodiversity friendly place like Texas and South Florida, you can do this with your bag material. I still think it sounds loud. Yes, Amy, it's my deer meat. The noise is a little louder here than it is there. I was saying about the fat in the deer meat. Deer meat is so lean. That's another reason we don't enjoy it as much as we might. And now I have all this bag material. There's no air in here like you get with a Ziploc, or not as much. I mean, it's on hollow tubes, but it's shrunk down good, and there won't be anything crawly getting into it. Now I did a medium grind, and I knocked the spatula down. Now I get to load up my arms. This was enough to overflow my very largest mixing bowl. I'm going to give some to a friend. I'm also going to continue eating venison as fast as I can. And just like beef, it needs some salt and seasoning of whatever flavor floats your boat to make it taste good. Everything tastes better if it's salted properly. And Gary, that might be another thing you ran into with not liking venison the one time you had it. Oh, you got something today. Oh, a rib roast. Yum. Crocodile, I would not be paying $30 a pound for, but I do eat it. I will tell you though, I get it cheaper here. Now, I thought one of these was the... Did I put the bratwurst stuff? Oh, that's the bratwurst. At the moment, the color's still different. This was seasoned. This is what was left after the batch of bratwurst I made. It will make some good snack sticks. I'm looking for which one of these is the smallest. I think that one is. The other 5 I will, at a pound and a half each at least. So we got a good 12, 15 pounds over here that will have freezer space found for it. Some will go in dinner tonight. Hey, Jonathan. I've never had zebra. If I was raising zebra, I'd probably eat one, but I've heard that those things are right bastards. I would not try to raise one in a paddock full of horses and ponies, for instance, because they're mean little bullies. And they're dangerous. Of course, in America, we generally don't eat horse either. But those of us who have functional brains understand that horse is reasonably good meat too. I don't recall if horse is monogastric or ruminant. But they have a one-piece hoof. Now, I like bison. I like bison really well. It makes good bratwurst. It makes good ground meat. It makes my ancestors smile. What can I say? But if what you've got in your area is available, you eat it. It's meat. Okay. These two for sure are not getting frozen, but I can't tell you how good this smells because I'm not allergic to it. Oh, shut up. No. Yeah, I have a live going on. I have some U.S. friends and a British trainer that has helped me a lot. Okay, move my camera a little bit. Now all the spices and stuff my daughter still eats are visible over here. The dog is investigating the floor in case any crumbs got dropped yesterday and today. Oh, my legs have been sore. I made the mistake of being on my feet so much getting all this meat done. And then I watched Jonathan's slow burn workout video today. Such definition, wow. You know that mental thing where you watch exercise and your own metabolism kind of kicks up? Yeah, if you know the intensity of what he's doing in those videos and you understand it, it will give you that kind of kick over in your metabolism. So my thighs are burning and I still have to go in there and get on my vibration plate and I just do some body weight stuff for the calves, but is the meat striped or marbled? Once you get under the skin on a zebra, it's just meat. And I think you would have to feed it corn to get it to marble. Actually, Jonathan, you'd probably get a good laugh out of this. Most people in the States do not have good definition on their calves and shins. And just doing Tai Chi, and this was when I didn't have a gym membership, and I started carnivore, and I hit the point where you know how the shin bone is usually the leading edge on anyone's leg? And the tibia. And I was showing Master State, my Tai Chi master, that the muscle on the outside of the leg, where it comes up to the tibia, had plumped up enough to extend in front of it. It became my leading edge. Yeah, I put a lot of stuff on my Christmas list for balance work. I really need some yoga bricks to replace the ones my grandchildren chewed on when they were little. They took the corners off. They left tooth marks everywhere. And it wasn't the good cork ones either, because those cost more. So I was just getting the cheaper foam ones. I swear those kids will eat anything. I use a resistance band when this shoulder gets a little clunky. It doesn't want to move. Right now it's moving pretty good. But then I can have a little resistance when I'm going down, and I'll bring the resistance band in front so I can press more and get out to full extension. I think that's a good one. And I will have to look for your Ultimate Home Workout. Is that in the membership channel, or is that on the regular channel? Because I imagine you know some good stuff to do at home because you've been stuck at home so much. And still managing to keep nice definition. Oh, awesome. You have me on Facebook? Kismet Smith, right? Um, Josephine, you do what you can. Do it as you can. If you wake, hey, Thomas, if you wake up at 2 a.m. and you know you're going to be awake for a little while, do something. A lot of people will tell you not to because you'll wake up more, but some people are just bifurcated sleepers. They have a sleep time, a little awake time, and then another sleep. It's like a reverse nap. And if you do something with it, your body doesn't punish you too hard. When we were wearing furs and living in whatever shelter we could get, think before Abraham and possibly before Adam. Puppy, you're looking for this oops over here. Puppy. One tiny crumb made it to the floor. You should get it. Come here, puppy. He's doing his job. He's wandering around looking for the things he should hoover up. Because it's probably better for him than modern dog food. If you have to nap or spend a lot of time horizontal, biphasic sleep is going to be kind of normal. If you have to take a turn keeping watch at the cave mouth, for instance, keep the critters out, protect the tribe, whatever, bifurcated sleep is going to be normal. And we may not need to do that now, but I spent too many years working nights and still having to function a little bit during the day. So for me, it's kind of normal. I have to go play Tetris with the freezer now. I have all of this sealed up. About 14.5 pounds of meat. Yeah, for sure. Now, what I saw Gary doing with his sealer was to, now I'm seeing names I don't recognize. Turkai, Jorgen. That's cool. But, he was taking meat out of commercial wrappings, the usual foam tray and plastic film. they pack tighter when you vacuum seal them, whether you're doing a bulk package like this. I mean, that'll do for me and Loki. And, anyway, he was doing them separately. And like he said, the freezer doesn't have to work as hard because you're not supporting the foam. You don't need to support the foam. You don't need to freeze it. And that thin plastic film doesn't hold up well anyway. Madeline? Okay. Or I'm not close to the screen. Metin. Okay. Yeah, my daughter has the opposite issue with pain, Jonathan. Not so much that it's she doesn't have the complex regional pain problem. She's got my age. I'm a month and a half away from being 60. And my grandchildren are about this tall, and neither one of them's 20 yet. And the young one hates hearing it, but there's every chance that he could be heading for a Wilt Chamberlain style altitude. They're both over 6 feet tall. The young one more so. Not quite as tall as Rick yet. Oh, I hope you're in good health. Were you just looking for live streams, or are you looking for carnivore? Oh, you have the same birthday as my son, Amy. That's you, my best local friend, Donna, my son, Dr. Seuss, I think, and the state of Texas. All the same birthday. Although my birthday is in February. My son is a week later. And George is awesome. I have got so much meat in here right now. I think I need to lock the door. No room on the door. Small roast falling out. The cheese can move. Yay. I think I unplugged the sealer. Yes, I did. Now, a lot of people never turn small appliances over, but many of them have cord storage like this. And since it doesn't often get used, I would not be surprised if it gets weeded out of future designs. Now, I wish I had a place to just... My father-in-law had built pretty much a laundry room on the back of a mobile home once before, so that he and Karen could start laundry late, not be bothered by the noise. And then when their daughter and her 4 kids and her husband all moved in with mom and dad, like 6 extra people all of a sudden, there's a lot of laundry to do all week long. And if I was designing a added on room like that, I would go laundry and freezer on one side, and then a food lab workbench down the other side. And I would keep the grinder, the sealer, the dehydrator, and the sausage stuffer just set up on a workbench. Yeah, she's got she was born with birth defects that affected the spine, the shoulder, and right arm. And surgeries have cleaned up the arm and shoulder as much as they can be done. And she gets regular dry needling and injections in the shoulder and spine to keep her pain level to a minimum. Plus, she has that Raynaud's cold reaction. We've had to find a window scraper for her car that's built into a big old plush mitt so that her hand doesn't get too cold doing that. Her hand she gets pain in her hands just getting stuff out of the freezer. Yes, Jonathan, you are welcome to send me your next ebook. Although I will encourage people to check out the Carnivore Muscle channel. I've thrown one of his links into my posts so that it stays there. I don't go deleting a lot of posts. I did delete the post that was a close-up of one antler, and it showed the little fork. So it's like, yeah, legal kill, yay! I made an aim small, miss small comment earlier. Sorry, drinking things I shouldn't. Although I did put a link for some ketone beverages. I mean, I'm like Aaron. I will drink bubbly stuff. It's bad for me, but I will. I don't encourage them. But my goodness, if you eat something and the next thing you feel is like, dang, I need to belch after that. Then you grab something that's bubbly and it'll happen sooner or later. Pepsi Max caffeine free. Oh, pain management, yeah. One of the most important things I did for pain management was to stop relying on ginger and turmeric and ibuprofen every single day, because I would go to Tuesday, Thursday mornings, Tai Chi. This is before Master Date moved away. And I learned a lot from him, and that's been good for my life. But when he moved away, I was stuck going to the general Tai Chi class on Mondays and Wednesday nights and Saturday mornings, which that throws my schedule off because the hours are like this different. And really taking the supposedly anti-inflammatory plants out helped me a lot. And not relying on the ibuprofen. Now having now one of the most recent qualifications in my life was as an EMT. I'm qualified to tell people to go to a doctor. Oh, that is awesome. Keeping your medical or your pharmaceutical level down is certainly one of the best body-friendly things you can do. Oh, yeah. That does not show. Poked myself pretty bad yesterday, and it's shiny now because I put cold water to it until it was clean and stopped bleeding, and then super glue. "12 months, no pills." Josephine, if you're hurting, then a pain management specialist and possibly physical therapy might be in your future, because physical therapy is one of those things. Now, somebody thought I had sciatica. It's because I had burning and tingling down the outside of one leg. But it was only really happening when I was exercising, and what it was inflammation of the IT band. Jonathan can probably describe it better than I can. He's probably been there, done that. And that's when I said, I'm taking too much, I gotta stop. So I stopped. And you just plow through, and you get yourself used to not taking whatever it is you're taking too much of. Like I said, I was using turmeric and ginger like crazy. In fact, there is a drink you can make, and I think this is from Ayurvedic medicine. It's Indian. You take warmed milk, whole milk is my preference, and add some cream if you're a carnivore, and then you put your measure of ginger in that, and turmeric. And turmeric's a little strong, it's a little weird. No, not the black pepper one. Just the ginger turmeric milk, and it's sweetened with honey, and it's called golden milk. 3 surgeries. Yeah, and you've posted up photos of what your X-rays look like too. That's a lot of work. Hi, Italian girl. Yeah, I think the oxalates and turmeric and ginger were contributing to my problems. The temperature here today, well, right now it's about 40 degrees out. 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not a lot Celsius. And my grandson is still wishing it would be colder. Spoiled boy. He prayed for snow. 68 Texans died. But that was either a year ago or 2 years ago. Josephine, we're here for you. If you need to twitch muscles that aren't twitching, do you have access to a vibration plate? If it's at your best friend's house and they will let you use it for a bit, that's cool. I find sitting on mine helps because it will cause a lot of muscle twitch in the midsection. Now, I'm not going to show off my middle like Dr. Chafee did today. That child is so pretty. What can I say? He may not be as pretty as Dr. Abs, but he is still pretty. And he posted up something without a shirt on. That's going to get a lot of likes. But I came into carnivore being one of the only people I knew who could flex my, I'm trying to come up with the right word, obliques. Used to amuse my kids. If they came up and poked me in the side, my side would poke back. Oh, TENS units are great. I especially like it for low back pain and places I can't reach, like the middle of my back. If I put a pad on low left and high right, and it'll zap across. I mean, that's usually how you think about it. If you can adequately place TENS unit pads, you can do what is the electroshock thing. Italian girl, it's very important to move as naturally as possible. Sometimes that means, for me, using a cane. And I got a wooden hardwood cane. So no moving parts, no clippy bits that are going to fail. And I put it's cut off to exactly the length I need. And it's got a little rubber tip on it that I put on it myself. I have done this to get one that is exactly sized to me. You have to turn the thing over and mark where the crease of your wrist is and cut it off to that point. Or maybe just 1/8 of an inch less than that. And then you put that little rubber foot on it. And that will keep you standing so you're not hunched over, holding onto your back, feeling sorry for yourself. Because natural movement will actually massage the muscle. It's like self-massage. It's worth doing. The grinding sensations are usually a bad thing, Jonathan. Yeah, I kind of thought I was headed that way myself. My knees were grinding. I was moving wrong. Tai Chi helps, especially if you find anyone who, it's like, my class, immediately after the Tai Chi class, is a Kung Fu class. And in the people who attend that class are a nurse and a physical therapist. So I'm probably scolded more often than some. And then I get online and there's Jonathan. He can scold me too. And I know if I'm in really bad shape that Professor K and Pim will also start scolding me because I know better. I should move as correctly as I can. I should exercise as I can. Not as I feel like, or not as maybe today, but as I can. If you can walk to the end of the driveway and get the mail, or you have the mailbox by the door like I had at my previous home, then you might want to get out and walk to the end of the driveway anyway. Yeah, the extra putting on fat is an inflammatory thing. Are you eating a carnivore diet or avoiding inflammatory foods? A low inflammation diet is typically going to exclude nightshades, which is potatoes, eggplants, tomato. There was something else. All the peppers, tomatillos, they're all nightshade related, and they will increase the pain you're feeling. Girl, I'm going on 60 and I'm still doing Tai Chi, and I follow some of what's going on in the Kung Fu classes because I started in Kung Fu. Now, Dr. Bright, Elizabeth Bright, she's much more advanced than I am, but she got out of martial arts because she was stressing too much. I stay in because it relaxes me. Meditation, the use of a vibration plate, getting sunset and sunrise light in your face. These things help. And I sleep on a grounding sheet, and I'm barefoot right now, but my shoes, I wear a grounding strap. It goes on over the heel. Couldn't do your yard work? Oh, ouch. Be outside anyway. Get the natural sunlight. Get some of that middle of the day sunlight too, because it helps your circadian rhythm, because your body is built to take in the light that comes from the different parts of the day. And in the middle of the day, you get the blue and green wavelengths, and at the early morning you have the growing. You have the red that starts pre-dawn and grows, and then you get the blue greens, and then towards the later part of the day you get less of the blue and the green and more of the red again. It will help your brain. And try to keep your saturated fats up. Your doctors will scream about it and they'll cry about cholesterol. Cholesterol isn't going to kill you. In fact, it's something your body makes. Yeah, it is. You've got to do something to reduce your pain so that you can move better. Well, if you're not stiff, then use your TV to watch some yoga exercises and keep good stretches happening.
Hello.
That's true. And don't be afraid of salt either. Your body uses both the cholesterol and the salt in every cell. If you don't believe me, then go find Professor Bart K. He's got all the information. Richard Smith does too, and Stephen Thomas, and Jonathan here has good information too. Looks chocolatey. Family members coming in with stuff I don't eat. Say hi to Dad for us. He doesn't know who we are, but say hi anyway. Weird YouTube people. Your extra grandma. I know I don't do as many lives as I should, but I've been kind of busy putting up 2 deer. And the next trip out is to try to help brother-in-law clear out some wild hogs. If some of them are small, we might be roasting one. And the nurse from the Kung Fu class admitted she would like to have one too. Yeah, Josephine, you should want more for you. And from you. You mentioned TENS unit. They're great. Natural movement. If you have to use a cane, and it's one of the ways I mess up my wrist because that's an extra thing I'm carrying on one side that I'm not carrying on the other. But it makes you stand up better. And then when you stand, it's hard to describe hollow stepping. Extend a foot and make contact with the ground. Don't just fall onto that foot, but you make contact and then rock your weight forward. Trust me, it helps. It reduces the impact you will feel in the ankle, knee, and hip. And that is one of the exercises we do in Tai Chi. And we also pivot on the heel or on the ball of the foot, depending on the movement we're making. If I was outside, I'd have more room to do this. But if I'm at the stove and I'm doing something, I could just take extra steps and turn, and it's not an even fluid movement. But if I turn on the heel and then bring the other foot too, then I have moved more fluidly and without catching on these cabinet knobs. They often catch on the features on my pants because I wear typically cargo pants, and there's a loop I can put a hammer in, and there's side pockets and all that, and then even the front pockets will occasionally grab onto the knobs. But the movement heavy walking, gosh. Grandkids, bump, bump, bump. Something you can do is it works for you, but it also means you can sneak up on them. You turn silently and you step and you rock forward. When the weather is warmer, I might have to make some videos like that. I'm not a martial arts instructor myself, but I can show you and say this is what I do to move better. And if a free introductory lesson is available at a martial arts school near you, I recommend it. One of the first things I ever learned in Kung Fu was to fall without getting hurt. That one has come in handy. I stepped out the back door once. It's available, you know, you go out there and check the weather and see if the sun's coming up and all that. It had been raining all night and the wood was very soaked and slick. My feet went out from under me. I could feel where I was going, and I decided to utilize what I already knew how to do. Get low and then try to land where you would sit. And then more recently, out the front door. I admitted this at the time, is I had a fall. Not even on the front walk, but from the bottom step onto the front walk. Twist! Big bruise. Hey, Aaron. You missed my gigantic pile of meat. I Tetrised it into the freezer. I had to move some cheese to make room. No, I fell off the bottom step a while back and had a huge bruise on my left arm. And it was up here, so it was covered by a shirt for most days. But it was still summer, so I was frequently wearing things that were sleeveless. I don't try to cover up bruises anymore. They're just part of who I am. But we were talking about trying to move naturally. It's as important as eating naturally, you know? Let me move this off the stove. We'll be cooking later. It's plastic. You need something, dear? Or are you just trying to stay off camera? I think he's up there with Aaron's husband with not wanting to be on camera. It's chilly here too. Yeah, it's still 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's not very much Celsius. Well, I'm drinking cold bubbly stuff. "20 degrees in Tennessee." Okay. Or in your part. Okay, can you talk your husband into taking the strings out of his hoodies? Because that martial arts stuff, if I wanted to be bad, I would be grabbing those strings. Not good, right? So I have a few hoodies I have purposefully removed strings from. And I have one that was carefully designed to prevent removal of the string, so I just ran as much slack as I could. I tightened one side, cut it off, tightened the other side, cut it off. No more string. A 2 hour. Why did they bother? Why bother to schedule? Oh, a 2 hour delay. Okay. I thought you said they had a 2-hour day. I'm back here and I'm not wearing the ones with the line and the reading lens at the bottom. I wore these in my martial arts classes and I will show them. My other glasses are bifocals so that I can focus on something right here without going blind. And these are not ideal for reading, but they're great for hunting. So for people who typically wear bifocals but they want to hunt, leave off that last set of numbers. I mean, you've got this number, and things in a glasses prescription. Get a glasses prescription with just that first set, and you'll have your clarity for this part. Which is why I was able to make an aim small, miss small comment in a live stream earlier today. I like game meat. I can cook rabbits. I can make a good Hassenpfeffer. My last attempt was not so good, but I'll make another. Hassenpfeffer is usually a little bit carby, and I think that'll be one of my cheat days next year. Because, just because I like Hassenpfeffer. Although I will try it with white pepper, I think, because the seed coat, the black part of the black pepper, comes off when grinding white pepper. That's the part that's highest in oxalates. And what's one thing people often keep using, and that includes Loki, is black pepper. I'm not sure where garlic ranks, but I have the Toxic Superfoods book. I'll look it up. That's a vital book. Or I might, if I see her in a chat, I might just ask. But I think the Toxic Superfoods book should have some information on that. But, because it is a part of the plant growth. Oh, yeah. I don't remember very many 2-hour delays when I was in high school, but I was in Wyoming. If the bus could get through, we went to school. If it couldn't get through, we stayed home all day. The first response to that should be younger than what? Or just younger than 60? I still am for a month and 3 weeks. Or, it might still be 2 months still. Because my birthday's at the end of February, 1 week before all these March 2nd people that I know. And the state of Texas. I'm looking up next to my clock. I have got 12 different egg cups up there. And I would get more if I find them. I'm trying to remember if I have any down here. Something about egg cups. But I like soft-boiled eggs. Younger than the last live. Well, I also have my camera on a stand, so it's a little bit away from me. My phone, basically. It's all the computer I use. Bubble stuff. Yeah, I've reached that point that so many of us do from time to time where you start throwing away the shirts that catch on everything because they're ridiculously too big. And that's sad because the ones I have already had the neckline snipped. Missed something? I finished working on 2 deer. I made Loki help. But that pretty much meant I wasn't doing anything on camera for that. But I did play some Christmas music. And I did Tetris them into a freezer. I might move a bag of salmon fillets from that freezer to that one. We've got 2 refrigerator freezers here. But there's no upstairs, downstairs, one in the bedroom kind of stuff because I'm not Jonathan. I don't have to live like that. I have no upstairs anyway, right? It's up some steps to get in the house and up down some steps to leave. Tetris board. Yeah, I noticed that was out. Like, wondering if I should find it and put it on my wish list. Oh, Candyland's a classic. Yeah, it's a game to teach toddlers to sit down and play quietly, which is never going to happen. You don't have an old set of that one? So whether it's Snakes and Ladders or Shoots and Ladders or Candyland, there's really no reason for them to be that expensive, especially when they're cheaply made. I understand. Because if they knock a box down and spill it everywhere, you'll never find all the pieces and half the cards will be chewed, right? Yeah, and the amazing lack of privacy you have when you're trying to watch things on YouTube is exactly why I won't take inappropriate questions or inappropriate flirting or all that other stuff. It's like, mm-mm. It's like I have friends with small children. Small children don't need to hear anything inappropriate just because you happen to open a channel. We need standards. But games are fun. And now you've got Emmett and Rocky at an age where they're going to want to play games and have manipulative little pieces they can push around or fit together or whatever. And the prices have gone up crazy. You need to make a wish list and post it in your about or somewhere. And I should talk, I should too. But, yeah. Let weird internet people send things to you for the kids. Where am I at? Oh, I'm almost an hour and a half. And I'm not even playing with the meat anymore. There, I've said something that could be taken as inappropriate. Oh, the Amazon wish list tool. You want to be logged in on your own account, so this whole family account business doesn't work very much, especially if your kids know how to buy stuff online. But when you scroll and you're looking at the price down to where it says add to cart, you go a little bit further down and it'll say add to list. And you click on add to list and you can set up a shopping list that you go to regularly if you're buying their toilet paper, their paper towels, and you can get the full sheet paper towels there. You don't have to get the little rip a scrap styles being pushed by the different brands. Yeah. I get tired of doing dishes too, but that's what the dishwasher's for. But, oh, I gotta run some water in this bowl. I gotta run that in the dishwasher soon too. We have an extra one of these. It just lives in the sink. And if anyone's dumping soup or juices or broth, it's supposed to go through that strainer so that it's not being caught in the sink strainer. There we go. I'd love it if they actually get the hang of using that. But the add to list feature really helps making a Christmas list easier. You find the things you want, and all of a sudden you've got lists. You can make multiple lists. You can make a list of things that you'd like to get on a subscription basis. Like if you find exactly the paper towels you want, toilet tissue, salt, things like that, then you can find these things that have a subscription option and move them to that list. And then when you sort out when you want that subscription to go through. Oh, hi, TG. Snapchat pigs. Okay. Cousins. I'm gonna tell on one of my cousins. Just in case she ever finds me on YouTube. Valerie, this is for you. I'm telling on you. I've got cousins who are so fiercely into football that they will give play-by-play over Facebook, complete with swearing at various officials and players and each other. Because when you've got family from Alabama, some of them are going to be very much Alabama with the big A emblem, and some of them are going to be War Eagle. And that exactly describes Lee and Valerie. Depending which college they go to. It's kind of like a UT versus Tech, or UT versus A&M, or A&M versus Tech. Who cares as long as Texas wins, right? I don't even particularly like football. I think rugby is great. Hey. Is it time to go raid Juliet's life? Tired and slow. That describes most of my days. It's 5 p.m. It's time for this one to end. I would suggest rating Juliet Edens. Um, if anyone is still in the mood to be live chatting, I think I will go there myself. I'm not sure how to do the raid stuff. Okay, if you just got the notification, then she probably hasn't started quite yet. Josephine, where you are, it might be better to consider the second half of your biphasic sleep. Or, no, wait a minute, that's not you, that's Jonathan. So, I'm thinking east, but I know you're west. Texas is halfway between Prime Meridian and 12 o'clock in Australia, or most of Australia. Josephine, if it helps a lot if you type them into the search bar. You know, you go to your alerts and there's you can see a row of channels or whatever. If you type them in frequently enough, then the algorithm will get the hint that these are the ones you're interested in. I found my alerts woke up a lot when I actually put Stephen Thomas in search more often. And that's great because I hate missing them on Stephen and Richard Smith on Sundays. Hi, Barb. There's some stuff I don't know how to do, but when it comes to searching, yeah, I geek too much to lose it searching. My Google foo is strong. But I was in the tech world for so long, and there's, you know, from the 80s to almost 20 years ago, older grandson is going to be 19 next year. It's a horrible thought. But yeah, I was in the tech world for a while. My first computer was a TRS-80, okay? You could dump a mainframe with one of those. Some of you may recall the words, hack the planet. Oh, Commodore 64 wasn't very bad. It was a good computer. I mean, there's a bit of what you can do with this, what you can do with that, what you can do with the other. The Commodores were the big competition for the TRS-80 and the first run of Apple computers. Oh, Aaron. He would have probably had a fit if he saw some of the great, you could take a 3.5 floppy apart. There are projects you can do with on that should be illegal, and then there are more innocent things like making a little Enterprise spaceship out of it. You know, the Star Trek, the original Enterprise. It's like you do this with this part and this part and this part, and all of a sudden you've got this origami floppy Enterprise. I'm not going to say what else you can do with a 3.5 floppy because I don't want your kids doing destructive things because they heard it on my channel. But I do have somewhere in this house, I'm not sure I can put my hands on it, an entire CD of the Anarchist Cookbook. So, yeah. There's things that make smoke that you can do with floppy disks. And things you can do to really mess someone's day up using floppy disks. Yeah. Timeshare seminars. Watch out for the timeshare people if you get a chance to go to Las Vegas, because they will give you expired coupons to go somewhere for a meal. Fortunately, the place I got coupon for knew exactly what the deal was and gave me the meal anyway. And that was my first trip to a Brazilian steakhouse kind of place. That was great. Now, I went to. I'm trying to think of the brand name. There was a big tech event, and my husband was going to represent Dell. And I had been recently disconnected from the company. I've watched too many jobs go overseas. 3 of them were Dell jobs. But I had my 401k to spend and my son's wedding to take care of. It's like, you're going where? Tell them to expect 2 in the room because I'm coming too. And I bought my ticket, made sure to go on the same flight with him. That way he could take care of all the navigation from the airport to the hotel with the other guy who was coming from the company. And we had a good time. I enjoyed the pool and wandering around, and I crashed a gamer dinner. On the south side of Las Vegas, there is a little town. I was looking up things that a gamer might do in Las Vegas. I don't care about gambling. I'm not a gambling addict. I don't lose tons of money, but I don't want to. So I found where a roleplay gaming group was going to be having a dinner, and I went looking for them. I crashed dinner. And that was another instance of eating someplace new for the first time. And then that brand opened locally, so it's not very far to go to if I want to. And that's cool. But like I said, it's time to get off of here because I've had a nice long life, which I haven't done in a long time. So I'm going to wish you all well. Grandma loves you and wants you to be okay. I hope you are eating well and exercising as you are able and taking care of each other. That's important. Big props to Jonathan. He is actually doing a lot to take care of people. If you have not watched his vegan recovery cartoons, they're awesome. I love them. And now, when it comes to ebooks, I can read or listen to them. Some people just don't read as well on a lit screen and need something in paper. I don't know if there's a print on demand option if he has them on Amazon or something, but If there is, then he's not making much money from it because that's pretty much how those deals work. That is a big difference. 2 wheels and 50 batteries? Granted, with a battery, if the batteries were already paid for, then that's in, out, reconnect. Oh my god. Hey, Sherry! You missed. You didn't see me playing with my meat. I just vacuum sealed the end of 2 deer. So my freezer is so packed I had to take cheese out of the freezer to fit all the meat in there. I don't know if anyone else is following Sherry Morgan, but oh, Erin, you should probably look at her channel. She does some interesting slushy drinks and stuff out of electrolytes and flavors and things. I typically don't buy a lot of the flavored drinks, but Sherry, I really ought to send you the Black Cherry Shift brand keto packets. I use sometimes. I don't know if I've got a second packet down here. Oh yes, my husband got me 2 of these. I drink too many of these. Oh my god, the flavor. That is meant for, let me see what the directions are. I know I put 2 of them in a 20-ounce bottle of water, and that is like drinking Kool-Aid. 1 packet. Like I said, I have the wrong glasses on today. Okay, 1 stick into 8 to 12 ounces, so probably doing 2 into a 20-ounce bottle of water isn't too bad. And shake it up, and it does have color. I don't know what type of color. And the ingredient list is short, but let me see. Citric acid, it's probably not the good kind. Flavorings, which means they don't want to tell the ingredients. Tartaric acid and something. But it does taste good and have, I don't know what the sodium level is. Let's see. Yeah, it does have sodium. So, on long drives, I like having this stuff along. It's so good. And it's a good cherry flavor. I have not tried putting it in the protein isolates I occasionally use because yeah, Sherry's awesome. And she really must have good shoulders because she can do stuff on a pole I can't do standing up straight. Hello, puppy. Why are you looking at me funny? Yeah, I'm still talking to my device when I've got a puppy dog wandering around wondering why I'm talking to my device. And I keep saying I should end this because it is time to end it and then people come in. But I need a slush made out of this stuff. And I don't know if ketone drink makes a good slush the way electrolyte drink does. But this does have electrolytes. Oh, and I think Richard Smith was warning about stuff that's too high in calcium. This only has 90 milligrams or micrograms or something milligrams, I guess, of calcium, while it's got 160, 190, 330 of the magnesium, the sodium, and the potassium. So maybe it'll come up good in a. I should just be inspired because I watched Sherry's video and try to make an interesting slush out of this. Or better yet, bribe grandsons to do it. One of them's got a snow cone maker. Yeah, the kid with the snow cone set, it came with 3 bowls this size. It's a little bit more than a cup. And he likes making snow cones and slushies out of Monster drinks. And he will tell you which ones taste good or not. Because he tries things too. Snowmax 3000. I don't know which one he's got, but he took it over to his girlfriend's house to make snow cones for her and the little one that's smaller than her. She's finished high school. The little one is very little, still in grade school. But yeah. Now the energy drink, which is bad for me, because it's carbonated, I think it'll make a good slushy. But I have no room in that freezer right now because it's full of deer meat. And I have already delivered an armload of deer meat to my son and daughter-in-law, and a little bit to my friend Mark. And in the bag for my son, I included a nice roast and a shank for Chef Devo. Because knowing a chef, he'll find good things to do with it. It gives him something to play with, you know. And nobody else, no one's going to be screaming at him. It's like, what have you done with it? What's it good for? Actually, I'm out of allulose. And I didn't think to tell my daughter I was out. I was just looking now. The place where I put the allulose bag is still vacant. It's less about that, Sherry, than about the fact I needed the space. There's still a little bit of beef. There's still a little bit of pork. And I should be making his dinner soon. We did eat a breakfast today. The texture? Yeah, because allulose, while it does have fiber to it, it exits the body unchanged. I'm not going to verify that because I'm not into that kind of science. But apparently heat doesn't make a difference with it. So if you put it into hot coffee, it's not changing enough to hurt you. Oh, thank you, Sherry. I think you're sweet. I think you're pretty. And I think you're strong. Oh, can't have allulose? Oh. Everyone has things they can't have. I can't have fennel or cilantro. And everybody tells me, well, this only has a little. It's like, well, are you allergic to peanuts? This only has a little. Sometimes they start to understand. And then would I have some kind of I'm trying to think of the right word for I have some kind of a allergy. I don't know if it's plant, pollen, dust, agricultural chemicals, what. But I was taking the boys and dropping them off at school one day. A long time ago. They were still in grade school. And the familiar itching of an anaphylactic reaction, it's like first the lower half of the face itches, and this is nostrils, lips, everything, and then you start to swell. And it's like, guys, if I have to pull over suddenly and call an ambulance, please don't panic, because I will stop the car before I stop breathing. But, yeah, I had a reaction, and it wasn't anything I ate. It was something in the ecosystem here. It might have been a plant was flowering and I was too close to it or something. But it started and I headed for the emergency room after I dropped them off. And then I went and refilled my... Oh, I dropped them off, pulled in the parking lot, used the injector, made it to the emergency room without having to make a call. Histamine intolerance? Oh, I love bone marrow. I'm the only one in my house who will touch bone marrow, basically. And I'm also the only one who'll go out of my way for oxtail or quite a few other things. But it is... We're at 2 hours almost. By the time I'm saying bye-bye, it will be 2 hours. So, but Coach Juliet Edens is starting her live or halfway through it by now. It's a good one for the Instant Pot or for a long simmer, and it's frequently a little too fatty, so you wind up upside down on the protein to fat ratios, depending how close you keep it on. I eat instinctively. If I want some oxtail, I go get some oxtail. If I don't want some oxtail, I eat some beef. Well, oxtail's beef too. But lamb shanks, lamb roast, venison now. And we will be out hunting for $90 fat, 10 protein. That's probably pretty good. And you look good, so it's working for you. What can I say? But, medical ketogenic is 90 fat, 10 protein. That makes sense. One of my second cousins or so in Houston, I need to actually make some time to visit and have a girls' day out with her or something. She was going through some cancer treatment and had to do medical keto, and one of her doctors or a nutritionist or somebody was trying to get her to go fully vegan. And I guess she insisted on not going fully vegan. And she just didn't feel right and didn't feel well unless they kept some protein in, some meat based protein. But I no longer eat the sad diet, so I'll probably be fine for that. I've got to make Loki some dinner because it's after 5 and the sun is going down, and we try not to eat late. And I'm going to try to come up with a slush for the Shift Black Cherry because it is so tasty. And like I've said on so many things, though, eat what doesn't inflame you. Exercise, exercise, exercise. Now, I'm not a physical therapist, I'm not an exercise coach, but I will say exercise carefully if you have to exercise carefully. Exercise as you are able to. If you're able to do a little bit more, take 2 more steps, do another lap around the house, whatever it takes, whether it's a lap inside or outside or another load of laundry. Do your exercise and take care of yourselves. Because I still love all of you. Grandma love you. Bye-bye.